I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll start very quickly in Virginia with Abigail Spanberger, who got rid of any opportunity for law enforcement in Virginia to work with ICE. That was her first executive order. Meantime, the riots in Minnesota continue unabated. The Mayor Fry and Governor Walz got subpoenaed about the fraud. You're never going to find out anything. Nothing will happen. Then we find out that Pam Bondi has gotten notice from a couple of U.S. senators, Joni Ernst being one of them, Mike Lee being another, that there was $1 million grant going to one of Omar's nonprofits in Minnesota. That was a complete fraud. Both the Tina Smith and Amy Klobuchar tried to get it passed in the spending bill. 1 million. They asked for $1.5 million. You find out that it is supposed to be nonprofits doing training for Somalians, and the way they worded it was, get this, they're justice impaired. The hell's that mean? It means you're a friggin' criminal. What do you mean you're justice impaired? And now they find out just before this went through that it was a total scam, that it was some guy that had an office on top of a Somali restaurant, and the other office was in somebody's house. They weren't administering anything. They were simply taking the money and screwing American taxpayers. And this was a congressman. The fraud here is it's just they just do it. And there's nothing here, there's no responsibility, there's no accountability. You know, and I know, Bondi's not going to do jack crap with it. Nobody's going to get arrested. Nothing is going to happen to Walz. Nothing is going to happen to Fry. Nothing is going to happen to Omar. And this is why, if we don't do something, we are going to lose, because people have absolutely had it with the nonsense that goes on in this country, the fraud, stealing their money. You know, this isn't about, well, I live in Washington, D.C., or I live in Atlanta, and therefore I don't care about what they're doing and how they're stealing in Minnesota. It's your money they're taking. And the flagrant way they're doing it, it's like in your face. I mean, basically, Amy Klobuchar, Senator Tina, and Omar Elon both were pushing. They were pushing for $1.5 million. It got cut back to $1 million, and it was within hours of getting in that pork budget we're doing, until Mike Lee and Ernst raised a flag and they stripped it out of there. And then, but it's unbelievable. Like, nobody does a damn thing about it, and nobody's thinking it's subpoenas. Nobody's going to do anything. 2 sets of laws for the Clintons. They get subpoenaed. They just give you the middle finger that they're not going on Epstein. Nobody's going to do anything. The Republicans are playing not to lose, and that's when you get toasted. So we just have to see here what is actually going to happen. But the main thing is they have got to do something, and they're doing nothing. I mean, when you do nothing, I don't know what you expect to get out of this when you're doing nothing. Meantime, President Trump yesterday calling for new leadership in Tehran. President Trump called this weekend for new leadership in Iran just hours after a social media tirade by the insane Ayatollah Al Khamenei, blaming Trump personally for violent protests across Tehran. Some are estimating that 16,000 Iranians have been killed. That is unconfirmed, but that's what some have been estimating, 16,000. And Tehran has been rocked by widespread protests. But as I said, when I had one of the Iranian resistance representatives on a couple weeks ago, nothing's going to happen, because they've killed enough people, they've threatened public executions, and now people have backed down, and the whole thing, Iranian situation has now cooled. There were very little protests last night. Look, you start killing people and they stop protesting. I mean, this is never going to change. You start killing people like they're doing, and there's no protest. So I don't know what the president really expects here to happen without us getting involved. Even if you take Ayatollah Khomeini out, there'll be the next Khomeini in line. That is not going to solve anything. So there's really not much the president can do. We're not going to get involved in their regime. It's got to be up to them. We should give support to the protesters in any way that we can, but getting involved in this is insanity. And the Iranians have got to figure this out. They have to figure this out themselves. And if they can do that, then we'll see what happens. But I tell you, folks, we are in quite the next 90 days here coming up. We've got a looming government shutdown in 12 days. Everybody's saying they're not going to shut it down. I'm not even sure what the plan is for that. Healthcare is an absolute disaster. I don't know what they're doing with that. That's not going to pass. It's stalemated in the Senate, and the only answer to this, folks, is getting rid of the filibuster. I mean, that is the only answer. And the Republicans are simply don't have the balls to do it. They're not going to do it. So, I mean, here we are. And the Democrats are going to just shut the government down.